Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Libra July 1, 2022. With Neptune's retrograde turn, it's not yet the ideal time to see yourself, and especially your work or health, in a clear light. There can be a small disappointment in work, service, or health areas this week that's initially discouraging but ultimately redirects you on a more appropriate path. You could be feeling out of step or disconnected temporarily. Aim to understand what needs simplifying. Still, the Neptune retrograde cycle, lasting until December 3rd, is strong for a new perspective on your goals and ideals. You'll be examining recent pursuits and what you can do to improve them. The focus is on what they mean to you and whether they engage your imagination or whether you have a spiritual or emotional connection to them. Today, you need some recreation and perhaps a little pampering, but you also need to get things done to feel complete. You may be refocusing your energies on things that make more sense to you. The ball's in your court. The moon continues to glimmer through Cancer in your bossy 10th house of authority, reputation, and public persona in the world, but it will simultaneously harmonize with freedom-loving Uranus today via your intimate 8th house of sex, mergers, and shared resources. Are you and your special someone wanting out? You could be getting intuitive hits about a highly anticipated ending or a transformation that needs to occur within your current relationship. This is especially true when considering today's Moon-Pluto opposition, as it will shake up your 10th and 4th houses of internal and external reality. Transformation can be sudden as the Moon in Cancer sextiles Uranus in Taurus today. Unexpected investments may come to fruition suddenly, resulting in unanticipated losses and gains. An asset or resource could play a part in your career path. No matter what happens, you may find yourself in the spotlight because of it. If it is in a positive light, then you have nothing to worry about. But if you are being recognized for a loss, then you can use the rapid pace of the sextile to propose several solutions to stabilize. You may have to fight the urge to jump headfirst into a situation. Take any decisions you have to make into careful consideration, as your urge to be impulsive could cause a few problems. You may feel like you have to grab your chance before it disappears, but it would be wiser to make certain that the chance you're grabbing is even worth your time. Trying to get the toothpaste back into the tube is nearly impossible. You are in a state of siege in your own home and in your family circle. People are criticizing you constantly and you feel you're doing everything wrong. Take time to reflect before retorting, because they could actually be right on some points. If you react in a sober way, your family will regain their trust in you very quickly. You know that little voice in your head? Not the crazy one that tells you to spread peanut butter on your socks, but the one that reminds you of what's important. Pay attention to it now. You find the idea of meeting new people difficult, not really something you want to contemplate. If this is actually how you feel, then far better to wait a while and reflect on what you really want to achieve. When this is done, the idea of dating has a realistic purpose with much higher chances for success. Make progress on a larger wave of energy that is moving through your life today. Today this project may be challenged by a new and innovative way of thinking. Pay attention to this new form of thought. There are some valuable lessons that can and should be learned today regarding the balance between traditional ways of living life and more unconventional modes. Riding the swing to either side may get you stuck in a rut. Keep centered. If you are into writing, this is definitely a day to indulge yourself. With the added boost from the vibration that is in the air, you will find the words flow readily and freely from you. The same is sure to be true when it comes to verbal communication. Even if you don't currently engage in writing, this is the perfect time to give it a try. Many 7 personalities find this to be ideal for them as a means of creative expression. In its final hours in your career sector and as it wraps up the new moon here 2 days ago, the moon is being kept busy. While a clash with Pluto in your home and family sector could create some work-life balance tension, this is being offset by a friendly aspect to Neptune, just days after his retrograde turn in your work sector. While it would be easy to dismiss these work and life balance reminders, As things start to come together across the income, work, and career fronts, this is the right reminder at the right time. In a case of perfect timing, just as Mars moves into his final 4 days in your relationship sector, the Moon returns for its monthly visit to your friendship sector. It is over the weekend that they will move into a friendly aspect, boosting your confidence and making it easier to remain emotionally engaged while at the same time creating positive conditions for friendship and relationship building. Our eyes in the sky. It can enable spiritual or emotional bypassing, yet it can also help us to gain perspective regarding situations that are typically too charged for us to assess objectively. This is one of those times where compartmentalization can be a helpful technique, as it frees us from self-imposed obligations to canonize our past. Instead of assuming that we are bound to replay the same traumas over and over again, we recognize that we have the authority to change how we tell our stories. This will be a somewhat unconscious process today, organically occurring as we go about interacting with friends, co-workers, and acquaintances. We simply tell our story differently, and this action creates change. Using new words prompts different recollections, and the way we share with others creates a holistic ripple effect. Meanwhile, Saturn in Aquarius loves innovation but might be slow to put changes into effect, knowing that true progress is never achieved overnight. Yet, when these two influences come together in a sextile, they harmoniously play off each other. Mars encourages Saturn's propensity for experimentation. Saturn checks Mars' instinct to run into the fray without proper protection. This is a great aspect to use for initiatives where we must put our heads down and focus. Although we will not likely reach our projected target today, this Mars-Saturn permeates us with the confidence that we will achieve our aims if we work diligently towards their realization. This makes us want to get lost in the waves of love and emotion. Be careful about trusting people who don't deserve it. This can excite sexual prowess and heighten sex drive. It also shortens tempers, so try to avoid meltdowns and drama if you can. A good way to deal with this energy is to meditate or count to 10 before confronting anyone. This can help alleviate the situation and melt away stress. By the end of the day, you could feel worn out and tired. Give yourself a rest, some love, and a glass of wine. The Moon in Cancer, ending its void of course which began last night. This is the sign of its exaltation, suggesting an easy flow of instinctual, nurturing energy. Over the next 2 days, we are encouraged to connect with our senses and practice mindfulness. Seek radical presence and keep things simple. The past is gone. The future is yet to be. Acknowledge the tether between your emotions and your environment, and ground into the moment. In the late afternoon, the Cancer Sun forms a quincunx to Saturn in Aquarius, which might dampen our spirits. We may sense a looming crisis, or fixate on a nagging feeling that there are responsibilities we must attend to. The timing is inconvenient, as this is one of those occasions where there is never an optimal time for it to land in our laps. We want to be a leader and demonstrate that anything can be handled with compassion and integrity. Yet addressing this issue requires us to put our feelings aside and just get it done, which seems counterintuitive and causes us to feel stretched thin. We worry we might be viewed as uncaring if we handle the matter efficiently, or that we will be seen as too soft if we act from a heart-centered place.